A fucked up married substitute teacher paid students and plied them with booze and pot for sex, according to the cops. I feel like, right, like we have all of these stories of teachers having sex with their students, and it's typically just like, oh, you know, they were explicitly texting with the students and that's bad. Don't do that, right? Like, obviously that's bad. But when you get to the point where as a teacher and those explicit messages aren't working, so you have to bribe the students, like maybe take a step back and be like, what am I doing with my life, right? Like, I'm not defending the people who are sending explicit text messages or those people are also shitty pedophiles, right? But it's like, this seems like a step further, doesn't it? Where they're just like, okay, the explicit messages weren't working, it's time to bribe the children, right? Like, it's kind of like a step further in the fuckery. You don't get the incentive. Guys aren't rich or tall or anything at that age. I also don't know. Maybe it's some like weird power corruption fantasy. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand how people can be pedophiles. It doesn't make sense to me. But chat, what about the churches? Always with the bribes and booze. Like, I had a teacher when I went to high school, and she was a math teacher, which explains why I'm so bad at math. I had multiple bad math teachers in high school, but she was more interested in, like, teaching the girls in our class how to pole dance effectively and playing, like, word games instead of doing math. She was like, oh, we're gonna have parties at my house on the weekend. You kids can come over and we can drink in a safe environment. And like several years after I graduated, she ended up getting fired because she took another student's boyfriend to prom. And the student was upset enough to report her to the principal. And it's just like, what? How brazen did you eventually get to do something like that, man? I'm telling you, lads, Islam is right about women. Until it's a female teacher from the headline. If it was a male teacher, it'd be called rape. True and real. Shut down the Department of Education. Abso-fucking-lutely, man. She's a disgusting pedo regardless, but how is she that fucked? Where she had to bribe teenage boys that normally want to fuck everything that moves anyway? That's what I'm saying! Like, you're already a disgusting pedophile. But how are you so disgusting that you're now needing to bribe them? Like, what the fuck? What hellhole did you go to school in? A very, very affluent, lily-white neighborhood. There was not a single non-white person in my entire school. It was very liberal. A deep fucking blue, baby. Yippee! Monster Pets, thank you for the raid! Welcome, Raiders! Welcome, Raiders! That makes sense. Yep. What kind of ratchet behavior? Hey, that's my country, but we're racist! Oh my god. Oh, you guys called it! You guys called it! She does seem to be beat with the ugly stick. Fucking holy Christ, take a shower! What is wrong with you? How did she get married? A married Missouri substitute teacher is charged with offering money, booze, and pot to students. She was I completely forgot about the money, dude. I was like fucking honed in on the booze and pot. I completely forgot it said she paid students, dude. Oh my, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? In exchange for sex, including with one boy she slept with on a gravel road, according to police. I think the wood chipper is too good for this woman. We need to go to China and consult their history books and find something. Just find something absolutely horrendous to subject her to. Carissa Jane Smith, 30, of Dixon, would pay off the students to keep quiet about the encounters, which occurred from August 2023 to September 2024, in return for sex or for allowing her to perform oral sex on them. Allowing her to perform oral sex on them. Man. Could you imagine being her husband in this situation? and like reading the allowing her to perform oral sex and just being like, man, I haven't gotten a blowjob in 10 fucking years. Like, right? One of the victims claimed that Smith, who has children, forced him to ejaculate inside of her. What the fuck? That was fucked up, he told her, according to charging documents. She then allegedly offered him more money. I hate this woman. Smith, who formerly taught in the Dixon R1 school district, who would have sex with the students at various locations, including her home, on the side of the road, or even on gravel roads, police said. One young victim told police he was in middle school when Smith asked him to have sex. The victim said he first met Smith while she was substitute teaching and gave him her Snapchat contact. Snapchat's a red flag.
Vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
No! No spankings! No spankings! Send her to the boats, look up the torture method. Are the boats the ones where they would, like, slather you in honey and then insects would eat you alive? That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty alright one. I just, like, Snapchat's a red flag, chat. I don't care how old the person is. If somebody says, hey, yo, you got Snapchat, or, oh, you want my Snapchat to talk? Walk away. Do not interact with someone who has a Snapchat. They are a walking Chinese flag of a person, okay? What the hell, does it always get worse when you watch Fox News? Smith began sending them pictures of her breasts and buttocks along with her nude in the shower, according to court documents obtained by the Post. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? The alleged predator then offered the student money in exchange for sex, but told him to keep his mouth shut. The victim stated that Mrs. Smith told them to not talk about it or else they would get in trouble. Mrs. Smith stated, "You know you can't talk about this with anybody," court documents said. She would typically pay the students $100 to have sex with her or to let her perform oral sex on them, but also paid them in alcohol and marijuana. In one encounter, Smith smoked marijuana with the victim and Smith's friend Lacey Beam, a former school nurse for the Dixon School District, according to the documents. Why was the fucking nurse involved? What is happening? Is that the going rate? In one encounter, Smith smoked marijuana. Oh, I read that part. Jesus Christ. Smith dropped Beam off at her house and then took the boy to McDonald's because her husband was at home with their children, the doc said. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office said she could face additional charges if more potential victims come forward. Smith was hired in September 2022 as a long-term substitute for Dixon Middle School, the court docs note. She was later hired as a paraprofessional and long-term substitute with Dixon High School before she resigned in August 2024. Can we... Why was she allowed to resign? Why wasn't she fired? Dixon R1 School District Superintendent Travis Borer said in a letter to parents on Wednesday that the district learned of the allegations against Smith earlier this year, but were not able to comment as the investigation was ongoing. Why did you let her resign? I don't understand. Fired my ass straight to jail? Well, I was like, that's the thing. She should have been fired and then immediately sent to jail, right? So like, what is this? These people always cover for each other. I was like, that makes me suspicious of the other people in the school district. The district cooperated with the sheriff's office and the administrators conducted their own internal Oh, well, that explains it. It's always those fucking internal investigations, man. This is very disturbing and distressing information for everyone in our school community, Bower said of Smith's arrest, adding that the district had been in contact with the families of the victims. She was arrested November 12th and is being held on $250,000 bond. She is charged with 8 counts of statutory rape, 1 count of sodomy? What? What? 3 counts of sexual contact with a student, 2 counts of sexual misconduct with a student, 1 count of patronizing prostitution, and 2 counts of sexual trafficking of a child, and 2 counts of hindering prosecution. What the f- This woman is crazy, dude! My 34-year-old daughter is a high school and middle school teacher. Her kids, male and female, are always asking her if they could be Facebook friends. She keeps her account private. Or if she has other social media accounts, such as TikTok, and ask if they can have her cell phone number. They invite her to their birthday parties and middle school graduation parties. Her answer is always no. It seems pretty common sense for teachers to adopt such a simple policy. I would agree. How is it difficult to just say no? They are literal children, man. Bribe them with chicken nuggies and V-Bucks. Sodomy covers anal and oral with force. Oh, okay. I have not heard oral referred to as sodomy, so when I read sodomy, I only think of, you know, the back door. Okay, alright? So thank you, chat. I did not know that it included oral. What the fuck is the dumb second reply? Good to know your daughter is so horny, she needs to make it a point to avoid all contact with her male pupils outside of school, lest she become overwhelmed by and succumb to the temptation to give them a roll in the hay. Alright, so I feel like the New York Post should figure out who this person is and report them to the authorities. It has nothing to do with being horny. Adults should not commiserate with children. That's just kind of like, you're there for a job as a teacher. You are not there to be friends with the children. Got another person to chuck in prison. Yeah, dude, what the fuck?